What's up, game devs? I got image loading into Voidstone's game engine. When I dev, I like to take a quick and dirty, just get it to work first pass. Then I flesh it out and clean it up in a second pass. This prevents architecture explosions where you have all these fancy layers and abstractions, but it still can't load an image. And now you have to debug through all that mess to figure out what's wrong. Let's start in the resources folder. You'll see this test.aspirate file. Aspirate is the image editor I use, and it saves things off in a proprietary format. Now, we could just crack this open. It's well documented, but I prefer baking my assets where possible. So let's jump into the makefile. Here you see some new additions, like a resource folder and images and image objects, as well as a bug fix. We create our directories, but ultimately, this is how we turn an aspirate file into a PNG, which we can load as a game asset. Check our build, and you'll see that it actually works. There you go, test.png. In our main C, you'll see this convoluted blob. PNG is a compressed image format. SDL can only load bitmaps. It can't load a PNG. So we use STB image. It's a header-only library that uncompresses our PNG into a bitmap, and it's a super useful tool. This pragma junk here is just ignoring warnings that are brought in because this is a header-only include, which means it throws a bunch of code into our file. By default, STL does linear scaling, which looks blurry for pixel art. And we are scaling. If you look up here, you'll see that we have this logical presentation, which is 320 by 180. But then we set our window size to a higher amount so that we can actually see it, because that would be this itty bitty window. We tell SDL that we don't want to use their linear mode. We want to use their pixel art mode, which is essentially just an enhanced nearest neighbor. Looks much better with pixel art. Here's where we grab our file. You could just jump into the file system and raw grab the file, pull it out. Plenty of C, like standard library options there. We don't want to do that. And the web doesn't use the same kind of file system as your desktop, as your console. And so we want to use SDLs like file system abstractions wherever we can. This is just getting the size of the file and loading it into our buffer. Here is where we decompress the file from PNG into a bitmap. Then we create our surface and texture, and down here we draw it. So let's see if this works. Of course, it shows it on the wrong monitor, but there we go. We have image loading into Voidstone. Oh, I also got debugging up and running, but that will be a completely different video. If you like the nerdier side of game dev, subscribe to follow along with Voidstone's development.